Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to another live preview. We are back. Yes, Manchester United are back in the Premier League. We're back feeling good. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody who's celebrating their Christmas today. I hope you're all having a good day and I hope you're all enjoying yourself. Hope you're all happy and well. And hopefully you got your links, box sets, and I don't know if you have this in Canada. Do you have links in Canada? And guys?
I mean, maybe I think we have them. I'm just not really aware. Because,
Okay, well,
I
it's
don't-
very popular in the England to get links, gift set. So anyone who's got a gift set, big up to you. And yeah, man, we just got the usual suspects now. The Friday evenings has changed now. Statman is busy with family. We got Adam Fahimi in the building. Adam, how are you, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Merry Christmas to everybody, as you said, and yeah, all right.
Yeah, man, big up to you. And Adil, been a while. I heard you were studying. How's the studying been? And how you been anyway?
Yes, I've been very busy this year. It's been quite a while. I'm not gonna lie, it feels great to be back home to enjoy the Christmas time. And I mean, nothing better than a United game to
Yeah.
to bring back the Christmas spirit at home.
Absolutely. Alien Taylor says I got a bottle of Burberry and a pair of Adidas trainers. Big up to you, man. You deserve it. You deserve it. Hopefully, I see you rocking it at Old Trafford soon. But yeah, man, please, if you're watching the video live right now, smash a like on the video. If you're watching it after, big up to you as always. Smash a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. But we're back, Adam. Man United are back. Good to see the faces in the background. Pogba, Varane, Ronaldo. It just makes you believe, man. You know what I mean? What could have been this season, man? What could have been this season?
What could have been? If we go by what could have been, we need to go back to Ole and let's just not.
Yeah,
let's just
yeah,
keep the mood
exactly.
up. Let's just keep the good mood going, the good atmosphere. So yeah. It's been a while since we last played. It's been
When was the last time we played? I forgot. Norwich.
yeah.
Start of December, I think it was.
That's a good 2 weeks now, something like that.
I think it's 3 because we've had a full week now, and I'm sure it could be 2-3 weeks. It could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But you're just happy that United are back. I'm back and playing, isn't it?
Yeah, I really am, because I was talking with my brother earlier. When Ole was still there, we had a game like every 20 minutes. And now that we have something to look forward to and we're actually excited with Ragnik, we are just begging for a game. So I'm very, very happy to have the game against Newcastle day after tomorrow.
Absolutely. Adil, are you happy United are back now? Game against Newcastle. How are you feeling that United are back now? You know what I mean? It's a relief now, isn't it? Like Adam says, if you were talking about maybe the Oli reign, we would have said, yeah, have some more time off. But now, Ragnik, it's almost like we're not even seeing Ragnik's ball. We're not seeing anything really. He's not had any training. So just to kind of have the squad, apparently everyone is fit. Barron, Paul Pogba already. Paul Pogba.
Well, yeah, that's music to our ears, and Adam about summed it up. We're very much looking forward to the games, and under Ole, I mean, of course, we're United fans. We're always up for the games. We always want United to be playing, but again, there was this feeling that we might be disappointed. Now it's the new manager that comes in, so there's this kind of feeling of uncertainty. So we still want to see, does he had enough training with the players? Did he spend enough time with the players so we can see things change tactically and in terms of the mentality and everything? So, I mean, the game that we're going to be playing on Monday, I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than this. So many things that we still are waiting for answers, and tactically the way we play and everything. So I'm pumped. And the fact that as you said, that almost everybody's fit, that's also great, because it doesn't happen often that you have a fully fit squad. And I mean, hopefully there's still Pogba to be included and to be involved maybe in the future during the season. So yes, I'm very, very much up for it and pumped for this game.
Adam, we've got Newcastle United fighting for their lives. They need the points. It will be very, very dogged. We have to be professional. We have to be alert. We have to be ready for this battle, because I call it a battle. You know what I mean? It will be a battle out there. It might not be football, in terms of we might not want to play. They will want to play, but it's going to be a very, very kind of battle, because they need the points as much as we do as well for this top 4 battle as well.
Exactly. And the games, they won't win themselves. Like as we said in the preview for Norwich, it was a very difficult game, the Norwich game. Like we could have lost that one. So the teams at the bottom, they are fighting for points just as much as we are fighting for points. So of course we are favorite, and of course Newcastle are struggling this season, but you can't really expect the game to win itself. So we need to go out there and execute the plan. And I hope this is what they've been working for the last week when everybody was able to go back to Carrington and train. So I hope we are going to see something at least for the first half, just to see something, and then maybe we do subs in the second half and we try to improve and work things around. So, but yeah, I 100% agree with you. Newcastle is not going to be easy. Actually, it's never really easy at Newcastle, is it? I don't have many memories of easy games at Newcastle, because even the good wins, like the 4-1 we had, those goals come at the end of the game. They don't reflect.
True.
So I don't have good memories of Newcastle recently. Actually, and then of course we had the game 2 years ago with the Longstaff brothers when you lost it. So
yeah, let's not forget about it. Let's not remember that one.
Nah, so it's not easy against Newcastle. It really isn't.
Adam, Ragnik, I seen in the conference he was talking about, in terms of they've been given video analysts, they've been given set homework, which is crazy, refreshing to see. You know what I mean? The fact that he's giving homework out for players to train, maybe to understand the game now. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you would say to yourself, you know what I mean, whoever does their homework better will probably play. You know what I mean? Obviously, they had the last training as well. Whoever did their homework well will probably play.
Well, absolutely, because that's when it comes to managers, listening to the instructions is an attribute. It's a skill set. To us, it's not the case because we're watching a game, we're spectators. So we take a look at what players, what are their abilities on the ball and things that are related. But for a manager, someone that's willing to study and understand the game plan, someone that's willing to put the time and effort to understand the way the team play, someone that's willing to put that effort, that's something very valuable. And I think that Ragnik will be doing that. And the beauty about it is that's why I like to hear, about saying that the players had homeworks. That means Ragnik, even though football has been stopped, I mean, quote unquote, it's been there. There was we had a little COVID break, but he was still doing his work, and that's the thing. He's still trying to figure out a way to improve the team, even when they can't train, even when they can't have games. Everything has been stopped, but he's apparently doing video analysis. That's music to our ears, Saeed. When you think about it, under Ole, our issue was those guys weren't actually doing anything during training. They were chipping balls in bins and stuff like that. And now under Ragnik, there's no training session. Everybody's home, and yet we're still working on the game plan. I mean, as fans, doesn't matter how we play on Monday, and doesn't matter what the result is. We should be looking forward to this, because imagine after months, and imagine after multiple games and multiple training sessions, how interesting this could get. And that's why I think when you hear this whole idea of homeworks and stuff, yes, I believe a lot of the players on Monday will be judged on how hard they've worked on the game plan and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Big up Zayn Miasi with a super stick up. Love for that, bro. This is Adam's brother. Yeah. I don't know about twin, but younger brother.
Twin.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Elliot Taylor says you want to be the best, you have to work hard then a bit as well. Absolutely. For me, this is a very, very key game for United. We can't get lost in the crowd atmosphere. I've been to Newcastle. They're very, very high octane level crowd, passionate fans. We have to play the game and not the occasion, Adam. You know what I mean? We have to show that we are resolute on the ball. Do you think there'll be a bit of rustiness on our side? Or, how do you assess the players going into the game?
Maybe a bit of rustiness, maybe. But that's why I don't expect him to pick much of a different side to the team that played last time against Norwich. I expect pretty much the same 11, just because you can't just put Martial in, you can't just put Cavani back or Rafael Varane back, because it wouldn't be a wise thing to do. You just you need to ease them in. So I expect pretty much the same team as the last few games. So just to avoid actually that rustiness you're referring to. So a bit. And as you said, it's a mad atmosphere to go to Newcastle. So, but at least it's easier when you have instructions. So when you don't really know what to do, you need to keep in mind what you was told to do. So that's easier. When you know that in certain situations, certain areas of the pitch, you need to do this and that, and you need to look for this and that, it's easier for you. You don't take full responsibility of it. And it's way, way less heavy on your shoulders. So that's why we need good, competent managers. That's why they are so important, because they relieve the stress and the tension and the entire responsibility off the shoulders of the players. That's why Pogba holds the ball too much. That's why, for example, we have no urgency and pressing and nothing, because they are not told to do so. If Pogba knows he has option, if Matic knows he has option, well, that's easier for them. And if you go to a big stadium, a difficult stadium, like for example St. James Park or Anfield or Ellen Road or whatever, when you had at least have instructions, well, that release a bit of that stress and that tension. So looking forward to it. I really am.
Absolutely. What do you think, Adil, in terms of the players? Who do you see playing, the technical players or the fast players? Because he has got a lot to choose from. When you're not playing for a while, what would you rather have see? Explosive players or players who are technically good on the ball? Because Newcastle haven't had a game off.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about. It's exactly what I was going to talk about, and I watched their game against Manchester City. That they lost 4-0. I think so. City scored 4 against them. They're very weak defensively. Newcastle, very poor defensively. But going forward, they've actually offered some interesting things, especially in the first 20. I don't know if you watched the game side against City.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, first half was
during the first 20 minutes. They look good. Joelinton, I mean, as much as people like to laugh at him because he hasn't got a good goal scoring record at Newcastle, he was dangerous during that game against City. They're going to be very physical. They have 2 wing players that are very fast and good at going forward. They played Ryan Fraser and Almiron, and they've got attacking fullback. So I don't think we've really got a choice to go with technical players, because going forward, the massive weakness that Newcastle have got is their defensive abilities, and we need to be very efficient and highly efficient. And as I said, if you're looking at guys like Elanga and Rashford and stuff like that, and I'm certain, I'm not going to argue with Ragnik if he rates them, I'm certain that they might have something to offer in the system. But again, in a game like Newcastle, I think we need Telles and Dalot, because crossing is going to be key, especially Ronaldo's going to lead the line. And we're going to need technical players because we need passing to go through the defense. And as I said, Manchester City had a very easy game during the second half against Newcastle because of how poor they were defensively. They were charging at Newcastle, and I think we need to do the same. If Ronaldo's going to be leading our lines, I don't see the point of going with someone like Rashford or Greenwood on the wing. If I'd like to see someone like Jadon Sancho play a good game. I'd like to see that, honestly, against Newcastle, try and hurt and punish their defense.
Absolutely. It's, that's what I was going to say. As much as a lot of people don't rate Joelinton, he has got technique in terms of his left foot. He's very I think for me, technically, I think he's sound. It's just that he's not got no goals.
You're saying, I'm going to tell you something about Joelinton that a lot of people might like, but the guy is a baller. Like, I understand that his goal scoring record is poor, but I used to watch him when he used to play in Germany, and he's a very good player. And you know who will like it? Will rate him, and that's what makes me feel confident. Ragnik rates him, and trust me, like, the game plan will take him into consideration in the game on Monday. Ragnik will have considered the fact that we're playing against Joelinton, and he'll have something in place for it.
Absolutely. That's for me. It's massive. People say Varane, is he back? The whole squad apparently is ready. Ragnik said it. Byron Pogba, the whole squad is there. The whole squad is is fit and available. Man, people leave a like. People, if you can, big up to Killis. Newcastle will be desperate. They'll play into our hands. Expect a 4-1 controlled win. How do you assess the squad, Adam? It's very unknown quantity, but that's what I love about United at the minute now. There's we're learning now under Ragnik, and that's the thing. Everyone's learning at the same pace, because under Ollie, you kind of like, they would score goals, but then you wouldn't know that they had a good game. You know what I mean? It's like they would score, but it wouldn't tell the whole story. That's probably the best way of describing it. Now under Ragnik, in this formation, everyone needs to be pressing. Everyone needs to be doing their own thing. And on the Norwich game, I think it was very much clear of which players kind of weren't as great as others. So how do you assess the kind of a squad in terms of going forward? It's this 4-2-2-2 formation.
I would stick with the 4-2-2-2 because it seems to be his preferred choice, of the preferred option at the moment. And you need some consistency. The players are not drilled enough to play the way he wants to play, so that he can just change formations too often. You do that when the team knows actually how the manager wants to play. So when the players click and they understand, now you can switch formation a bit. So I would probably stick with the 4-2-2-2. And as you said, I believe that's a very good point. Now we are it's unknown. The squad is actually not well known at all. We don't have a very valid assessment of the squad. Like there are players I believe are better than others. There are players I think are just not good enough. They need to go. But this is the problem we had with Ole, and we said this on your channel many times. You have a poor coaching setup when an entire fan base cannot agree on the players. And we had the same
true.
We had the same situation with Chelsea with Lampard. People thought Kante was done, and they thought that Jorginho was, what does he offer? And now the same with Havertz, the same with Werner, the same with the back line, the Christensen, the Rudiger, those players. They were very split within the fan base. So now we have the same situation. Now we have a good competent manager. We will see forward who fits and who doesn't. So we need to give it time, the next few weeks, months, so that we see a massive change, and then it will be very obvious who plays well and who doesn't. And at that point, the manager will stop giving free chances, because now I expect Rashford and Bruno and many other players and Maguire to drop, maybe Rashford more, because Bruno, I think he'll tighten up. Maybe he'll drop a few more poor performances, but there will come a time when if he doesn't fix up, his place is gone. He will have to come from the bench.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. Big up Zayn Biassi here with a mad super chat. He says that your players will need a PhD to beat Arsenal. We are getting Benzema in the summer. Do you think Benzema would go to Arsenal, guys?
Well, it depends. It depends. Maybe Zayn is going to be the one to finance the move.
Yeah, maybe Zayn.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Zayn.
I trust Zayn. I trust him.
Trust Zayn for CEO. Man. Oh man, Zayn, man, he's a funny guy, man. He's a funny guy. Listen, Aubameyang might be going out the door, but I don't think Benzema is going there, man. He's certified Real Madrid legend, man. He's for me a legend. Would you put him as a Real Madrid legend for you guys?
Who? Benzema?
Benzema, yeah.
Oh, without the shadow of a doubt, what a terrific footballer.
The most disrespected and underrated players we've seen in the last 2 decades. Top player.
Absolutely. Someone asked me a question about this guy. Do you know about this guy, Julian Alvarez? Apparently he's linked with United. Do you know him about him?
Yes,
he knows more.
Yes, I know him. I rate him, to be honest. I really much rate him. Like I understand, and I really understand, I swear, that a lot of people don't want him because they feel like we actually, right now with our squad, it feels like we need players in the midfield. I get that. He's a striker. And outside of our midfield and maybe the center backs, it feels like we've got too much player in the team. And I understand why people don't want to necessarily to add an extra forward, but I've been hearing that he's 17 million for him. And he's very highly rated inside. He's very good. He's someone that finishes very well, that strikes well, that has very good work rate. I like him. Exactly. Someone saying here that he's a Liverpool type of signing. He is. And when you consider, and that's the argument I told Adam, I said top clubs will need a time to have these experimental signings, these guys that we take a gamble on. And I cannot believe that if our team was willing to take a £25 million gamble on Dan James, we're not able to take a £17 million gamble on Julian Alvarez. And he's a very good player.
How old is he?
I think he's 21. And a lot of people saw the fact that he was 21 as him being kind of too old, to still be playing at Boca Junior. But actually, he's someone that's ready to fit in and have a role, play a role. Like if Ronaldo and Cavani are going to leave within the next 2 or 3, let's say 1 or 2 seasons, we're going to need to have some players here to play. And I think that Alvarez is one of those players I'm willing to take a gamble on, honestly.
Adam, what do you think? Alvarez, apparently we don't have a bad history. We have a bad history with getting talented players for South America. It's true, man. Our history with South American players is not that great, No,
it's not the greatest, but I think things are changing now. Now we have the structure will be different. The recruitment will be different. The Ragnik will have this 6 months, and then he will move upstairs, and he's setting the path for the next 2-3 seasons, or however long he stays. And as I just said, £17 million release close, euros, I think release close. He looks proper to me. He looks like a goal scorer. Ronaldo and Cavani might be going, and Martial might be going, and all of a sudden we need to splash 150 million on a striker. All of a sudden we might need to get like Haaland or whoever. Bring him in, because this is what good clubs do. As I just said, they take gambles on those players, because if they work out, great. It might be he might be like Jesus at City. They want another striker, but at least they have him to do some job, to do something, or maybe he can be a very good player. I don't think there's much risk in it, and he seems to be like someone who can score goals.
Absolutely. 17 million why complain with side, especially with Tony leaving, potential Cavani. Yeah, it is absolutely is. Touching on Anthony Martial, he is available. He's still not leaving, Adil. Who's to say that you might not be given a chance to kind of maybe not prove himself, but maybe a kind of a goodwill gesture for the manager? Do you think the manager will use him, or do you think he will just assess players as in when, or do you think that he will just keep playing the same team because he knows what he's got right now? How do you assess Martial trying to get into the squad before he leaves, if he
Like
does leave?
the thing that a lot of people I think have been mistaken about is when they saw Ragnik playing the team that he played with Maguire, with Bruno, with McTominay, they started to think that was his favorite 11. But the thing I really, really want to remind people about is when we played against, I think it was Arsenal, the game before Ragnik joined. Is that
Yeah.
That game was played in midweek, right?
Yeah.
It was in midweek. So there was a game played in midweek prior to Ragnik's first game, and then there was another game in midweek. Like the lineups were pretty much decided without really Ragnik being even. I don't think they were his choice. I think he just played the guys who were ready to play, and when the team won, he picked the same players again. I don't think that necessarily the 11s that we've seen from him are necessarily his favorites. And in the press conference that he made when he just was announced as manager, he singled out Martial. He really singled him out, saying that he believes he's a good player. And he mentioned the fact that he had only played 10 minutes in a game against Arsenal. Or was it against Arsenal that he played only 10 minutes?
Yeah, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes,
He singled him out. And again, we keep saying that there's a clean slate for everyone. And you see Dalot and Telles got picked. You saw that Jesse Lingard and Mata and Donny van de Beek actually got picked and started the game against Young Boys. I believe that if it's a true clean slate for everyone, surely Martial will have a chance. And again, a lot of people, because they're Ronaldo fans and they love him, they think he's immortal. Like Ronaldo will not be here for 4 or 5 seasons at Manchester United. Like the guy is nearly 40. You have to keep the future in mind. So that's why I believe that signing guys like Julian Alvarez or just giving a chance to players like Elanga and giving a chance to players like Martial, whether you rate them or not, is something that strategically will make sense for our football club. And I think that Ragnik being here, especially if he's going to be having a consultancy role further in the future, you have to give Martial a chance. He's such a quality player, and he's proved over the years that he has abilities that he can showcase. Whether he's been consistent or not, we can debate all day about it. But of course, he should have a chance, 100%.
That's a good choice, because I don't know, Adam, who's up front in this kind of 4-2-2. I guess McTominay and Fred will be that baseline. I think that's very, very common. I think Donny van de Beek, I don't know if he'll get that chance, if I'm being really honest. But I think the next 4 is up for grabs. But how do you see it dynamically? Rashford and Ronaldo, last couple of games, I don't think it has worked, to be honest with you. Not been kind of efficient.
It hasn't, because for many reasons. First, Rashford's attitude was very poor. He didn't look bothered, and that people picked up on that. And another thing, you have Bruno, Ronaldo, and Rashford and Sancho. You need the ball to stick, and then you have McTominay and Fred. The ball cannot stick. No one can hold that ball. No one can control it. The first touch, only Sancho has it, of all those players. So you need balance, and he talks about balance and physicality and control all the time, Ragnik, and he will figure out the balance. And as I just said, he picked the same team that played on the Carrick, because they were ready to go and fit. And another thing, if he comes in and switch the team, he makes it obvious and well known to the players that he has favorites, that players he hates, he hates higher than the others. And that creates another type of toxicity and environment that you do not want with a manager that just came in. So you don't want that. So you keep the same thing until they don't deserve to play anymore, or they actually deserve their spot. So yeah, Rashford and Ronaldo up front, I don't think it will work, simply because they both are looking to score the goals. And Rashford would need to control the ball and pass it to Ronaldo, because you want Ronaldo to shoot, actually. You don't want Rashford to shoot. So maybe that will change. And we will see it with time. We will find the balance of. I really believe we will. And with Donny van de Beek as well, people didn't pick on that, and I did pick on that during the game. The first Ragnik game, I believe, against Palace, Fred was injured. I think his ankle or something, and he was about to go off. And Donny van de Beek was the one warming up.
Yeah.
And Fred didn't come. Fred finished the game. He was not injured. He just had a knock or something. But Donny van de Beek was getting warmed up to replace Fred in the first two of the midfield. And then at the end of the game, he took Bruno out and got Donny van de Beek on. So that means Ragnik is very well aware that Donny van de Beek can play in the first two players or in the two players. People didn't pick up on that, and they say, "Oh, where does he play? He can play both positions." And Ragnik knows it. He knows it very well, and he will know that Rashford maybe will do this better than Martial or better than Greenwood, and he knows maybe it's the other way around. So the balance will come in. The balance will come in.
Adil, someone asking, what did panel think of the 3-4-3? Do you think the formation is sticking stone to this 4-2-2, or do you think Ragnik will change it, Adil? You know,
I think the main reason why we're going with this 4-2-2 is because we have a lot of forwards, and because we have very little midfielders, and the thing is, we can't play with a 3-man midfield at the moment. We don't have enough depth in midfield in terms of stylistically, and you couldn't play Pogba with McTominay and Fred because he'd be on his own. We couldn't keep the ball with those, and that's why I believe we're having this formation. And going back to the 3-4-3, personally, it's one of my favorite formations. It's my favorite systems and setups because I just like the way adding an extra centre back allows you to free up your wing backs. And I think especially when you have players like Teles and Dallo who are willing to create attack, I think that might be one of the ways we could compensate from our lack of depth and quality in midfield. And I really, really would prefer that, to be honest, sort of setup. But I think this 4-2-2 is just, it's so much easier to switch from this 4-2-3-1 that we played under Ole to this 4-3-2 than to go back to a back three. And again, when Ragnik came in, there weren't many centre backs available. And even had he wanted to play Luke Shaw as a third centre back, Luke Shaw wasn't available when Ragnik came in. So he had to do sort of a change because there was no way we were going to play the same way that Ole played. But when you think about it and you really go into it and analyze, Ragnik's hands were very much tied. There was very little he could do in terms of changing the formation. And a lot of people are so unrealistic about it, as if he was going to come in with one training session and these guys were going to be playing in a perfectly new setup. It was very, very much unrealistic. So that's why I think the formation is not the issue right now. I think the issue is, I think some of the players have been so poor. When you look at Rashford and the way he played against, I mean, even the game against Palace, where everybody in the fan base was pretty much satisfied the way we played, he was poor. And that front two of him and Ronaldo, the ball just seems to bounce off of them all the game. The ball doesn't stick. They're all trying to shoot and trying to score. Ronaldo's mobility has been a problem, even though his finishing is world class. Rashford's just been his overall game. Like, I'm not just talking about certain components of his game. His overall game has been just poor and shocking. And there's no way I can be optimistic in our front two's ability to retain and hold the ball and link up with Rashford in it, especially at the moment. So I think it's more about personnel. And Martial wasn't fit. Martial wasn't really ready. Having more options, I believe, will facilitate Ragnik's system, honestly.
Yeah, for me, that's very, very key. You know, I mean, personnel is the issue. You know, and that's why for me, Adam, we are going to get a lot of inconsistencies in our style and our play because, like Adil says, last 2 or 3 years, these players are not being coached. As much as people say, well, it shouldn't be an excuse, there has to be some sort of reset, and every training session will be vital. And I think it will get worse before it gets better. I mean, we will have games where we're not convincing, but we'll get the job done just because of the sheer quality and attacking force we have and the sheer abundance of, depth that we've got. How do you see in terms of the kind of the performance, rather than the results? How do you see that comparisons happening?
I think we will how the performance will improve.
Yeah.
Change, you mean, regardless of
Yeah.
I think of course. I think that's the first that's the starting point. It's a very good point actually that you're making, because when we had Ole, the problem was not actually the result, of course, because yes, they were, because we lost and we didn't win trophies. But even when we won, we were shocked by the performance. We couldn't even celebrate the wins because it was so poor. So now you're making a very good point, actually, because that's exactly what it is. Now we will focus on the performance. And people think that good performance and good results are mutually exclusive. If you play well, you will usually tend to win, especially if you have the quality of players we have. So I think, it's the performance will change, and that's the most important thing, because you need, and as you said, that we haven't been coached for 3 years, so now, and even more maybe, it's about building everything from the ground up now. So you need to build the reflex. You need to build the automatics of the players. You need to build a discipline, because look, discipline has been the biggest problem. Complacency has been the biggest problem. Players are just too comfortable. Rashford's too comfortable. Luke Shaw is too comfortable.
Way too comfortable.
It's shocking. It's shocking. So now it's even more than just the performance. It's everything has to be built from the ground up. So it will. Another thing, when the players will start to see themselves playing well, they will buy into it. Like it's like when you start to train for the first time. You go to the gym and you don't really appreciate, you don't enjoy it. But after 2-3 weeks, you start to see the results. You start to say, I'm stronger here. I have more cardio. I have more this. And now you start to enjoy it. Now you buy into it and you're more dedicated to it. So there will come a certain point after the first few weeks where the players will be like, look, this pressing thing, it might be working. Like we are looking dangerous and everybody will want to play. And the healthy competition will come back. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Forward to it.
And I think Adil, the coaching staff will help as well. You know, I mean, the fact that we have got coaching staff in now, you know, it's a massive kind of plus for the team to understand that he isn't the old okay. Mike Phelan is somewhere, you know, doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but you know, there will be now kind of an influence in the training. Like it's not just all them now. It's not individual brilliance. They are in there. They are in the battlefield with them, helping out. That for me is massive because system is key, man. You look at Jurgen Klopp's team; he has a big team with him, man. You know, to help him out, and Guardiola as well.
Of course, absolutely. And did you see how funny it was when we were bringing in managers, this Chris Armas and all these. Didn't you notice something, Saeed? Every time one of them officially was announced as being hired, inside the articles that you know were announcing their hirings. Didn't you notice that every one of those articles, it was actually mentioned what they will be doing? And after 3 years, we still couldn't figure out what Mick Phelan, what Kieran McKenna, or Michael Carrick was doing. It was,
I know.
Can someone tell me what Aaron Fletcher does? There's still this doubt over what they do. Ragnik came in, and within a week, we know who will be in charge of his video analysis. We know who will be his first team trainer. Everything already makes sense. So that's why I'm being sort of excited about these arrivals, because Ragnik now has his people that he trusts, and their role will be to facilitate the introduction of Ragnik's system at Manchester United. So when you look at this and see that he will be receiving help with people that he trusts, how can you not be confident as a fan about this working out? Like we still don't figure out what most people that Oli brought to the team still are there to do. Like this is a problem for me. When Ragnik himself, who's currently the Manchester United manager, was talking to the media and said, I don't really know what Mick Phelan does.
Yeah.
So when you don't know all of this, that pretty much tells you it was a freestyle thing. And Said, you were actually one of the first people to actually mention this freestyle football thing. But everything there to prove that it was true. So now we have, when someone says that he will be in charge of video analysis, that means when we're going to be playing against Newcastle on Monday, hey, Newcastle will have been scouted. We will have been very much studying their game plan, and we will be training on patterns on how to press them effectively and how to attack them effectively. So regardless of what people may think about Ragnik, this will automatically improve us as a team. So that, of course, makes me feel confident. And people talk about a process on the Role, that three-year process that led to absolutely nothing. Now I have everything is in place for me to believe that with time Ragnik can improve this team, because there will be people working on specific things. And if you add time and training and patience to this equation, it will lead to a nice place. That's why I'm very, very confident about what's going on at Manchester United right now.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to this kind of the Gegenpress, Adam. How do you see the Gegenpress happening, Adam, in terms of stylistically with the players and who we've got available? How do you see it happen? How do you see it kind of happening to fruition? If you were to guess.
Yeah, I think that's why the 4-2-2-2 is important, because at least you have players are actually quite close, and you have two players of each position. So that gives you more outlets, more things, more players to do the same thing, and it fills the midfield, because we were conceding a lot of goals. So this is a way to actually press and Gegenpress, counter press, and actually keep a quite decent compact shape. So I think this is the way one of the reasons why he chose that formation. And and pressing is different is difficult. You don't just come and press. Like, for example, when Ole's first season, he said that he wanted the team to press and everything, but it was so disjointed. It had no method, nothing to it. So the players all went injured with muscular injuries because it was not drilled. It was not something that was systematic and actually coached in any sense. It was just like go press. So all the players started running, and they all picked up muscular injuries. So now it will take time to avoid those injuries so that they do it in a way that their brain and the rest of their bodies is in perfect sync. So this is how you avoid injuries. When your body are in perfect harmony, you do something. It's like running. After I don't know how many kilometers, whatever you're running, at the end, you fall in sort of injured mode or whatever. You just run. It's just automatic. You don't think about it. Your body is running itself. And this almost the same thing. So it will take time because you're building habits here, and building habits takes time and it's difficult. But I see it working out because we have a few players that actually are they can press. Like, we have players people can't press. Martial can press. I'm sorry, Pogba is actually one of the best pressers if you look at the stats. Like Sancho, Ragnik wanted him like 4 years ago. Greenwood can actually run. Rashford can run. Bruno can run. Everybody can. Fred is tailor-made for this. So with time, it will work out, or at least it will be decent.
Well, we're gonna see how this press works. We're gonna try and act like we're Ralph Ragnik, and we're gonna debate how we're gonna press. We can't move these guys around, you know what I mean? So we're gonna debate and we're gonna see how we're gonna press. So let's pick our team. Shall we pick what we would think Ralph Ragnik would pick, or should we pick our chosen team? What do you think is more easier, guys?
I think we should go about what we prefer, because it's very hard to predict what another manager is going to be doing, especially the fact that his team selection will be based on his analysis of Newcastle as a team, and we obviously don't have those resources. So maybe we should just go with that now.
All right, cool. So we'll have David De Gea in goal. I'm guessing you guys are agreeing with that one.
Yep. 100%.
Yep. On the flanks, let's assume we want Dalot and Telles.
Yep.
Won't debate you on that one.
No debate on that one. This is key now. Do you think Varane will be back? Do you think?
Well, if we are picking the players we want to see and we believe to see, let's just rule out, for example, injuries. Let's just consider everyone's fit, for example.
Okay, so you would have Varane and Bailly, or Varane and Maguire?
But Varane and Bailly all day, every day. The thing is, if Varane isn't fit and after 20 minutes he's injured, I'll sub him off. But I'll start him.
Yeah.
Because we need to try and win the 3 points. And in case he is fit and plays a good game, we don't want to be having an issue with that. So for me, there wouldn't be any doubts on the back five. That's exactly the back five I'd be going with.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, let's change the formation to 4-2-2-2. Where? Yeah, there it is.
By the way, I see a lot of people that are saying Varane and Lindelof. Look, I'm not someone...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Lindelof. That's a good one.
Like, I actually like Lindelof. I'm not someone that's too hard on Lindelof, but Said, we all know what's his issue. We all know what are his frailties, and we're going to be playing against Callum Wilson and Joe Ellington, and they're going to be giving a centre back like Lindelof a hard time to deal with him physically.
Yeah.
So for me, Bailly and Varane is the only one.
Yeah, and also I think with Lindelof, I think they're going to be very, very careful because of the fact that he has gone through a bit of heart problems. Will they bring him back and rush him in? We don't know yet, so I think that's another cause for concern. But Varane, Bailly, I think that is just it's just a shame, isn't it? Like and we don't really use these kind of back two when they're probably the best one. You'd probably say that would be here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100% agree.
Okay. In the base, what would you have in the base if you had a 2 in the base? Fred
in there, 100% for me.
Fred, 100%.
Yeah, Fred.
Me personally, I might actually shock a lot of people with this, but this is my honest opinion. And if you guys don't agree with it, at least it's my opinion. For me, the one player that should be playing next to Fred in that position is Bruno. And the reason why, look, Bruno Fernandes, and I don't want to start a big debate because this is something a very sensitive issue, but for me, he's a box-to-box midfielder. He's someone that has absolutely no abilities in the final third. He has a very good striking ability. And the goals that Bruno Fernandes scores and the assists he gets are mostly from set pieces, and he could still get those goals and assists playing at any position on the pitch. And he's the last guy you want passing the ball to your forwards, because he won't do that job actually. And next to Fred, I think the two of them complement each other brilliantly. Fred is going to be playing besides him as opposed to behind him, and they're going to be going up and down the pitch with a lot of as proper box midfielders. I think Bruno could thrive there, and just it's with Bruno is technically his touch, his abilities, his football IQ. I just don't rate it. I just don't rate it on in the final third. And I see people saying Bruno can't pass. Well, McTominay can't either. So there you go. We have to make a pick.
Why does people never say Fred and Donny? You know what I mean? I know. Why is the case, Adam? Do you think Fred and Donny don't work? A lot of people never use them together.
I think it would work, but just I would probably have Donny higher up.
That's exactly why I'm playing Bruno there, because for me, Donny should be playing higher. He's a much better playmaker than Bruno. Why would I play Donny in the center of midfield and have him press and track back and having to play both boxes when he could be in the final third,
creating space
for players who will actually score goals? For me, Donny definitely needs to start against Newcastle, and he should be starting in the split end. And I see someone saying it's unrealistic, and I know it is, because this is our preferred teams. But this is personally how I would do it.
Say Bruno created the most chance Premier League, top sister in the Champions League. Yep, his vision technically ain't good enough. Yeah, do you agree with that one? Do you agree with the stats-based arguments, guys? I think.
Go ahead.
No. I said, do you agree with the stats-based arguments?
Absolutely not. I don't rate stats. And the thing is, do you know what it is, Shai? The chance created based on stats. Do you know what it actually is? If I pass it to a player and he gets a shot on target, meaning if you're on set pieces and you got Maguire heading the ball and then the goalkeeper making an easy save, that counts as a chance created. So as I said, half of Bruno's created chances, he could still have them, because he is very good on set pieces and his crossing and long passing can be effective at times. He will still be able to create those chances. I still believe that he is the best penalty taker in the team, so he should be on pens, he should be on corner kicks, and he should be on long distance free kicks. He will still be able to create his chances in his own way. I just won't have him anywhere near the final third, which is not what I want him.
And another thing with those stats, as I just said, explained the chance created. When you have Mason Greenwood, Ronaldo, and Rashford, who all they do is take shots, well, that's an easy stat to boost. You don't have players passing it. So Bruno just always tries that long ball, and they always shoot. So, of course, it boosts the stat. I just don't agree with taking just the stats.
Yeah, that's true. And people saying, well, we'll see. I think for now, I would have probably put Donny in there, but I think we'll go with Bruno for now, and we'll see how.
I don't agree with that. You agree with that?
For me, I would go with Donny or probably Donny the most likely. I would go with. I want to see how that develops. I want to see if it can develop, and that's what I would try, because I think they played against each other. They played it when it was RB Leipzig. They played together. They played against Southampton away, which I thought they had a very, very good game. And when we won the game second half as well, they played brilliantly. Yeah, let's see what the comments say. Fred is looking good on the Ragnik, Donny and Bruno or Fred. Prefer Pogba, Donny than Sancho, Bruno. Let's see what the comments saying as well here. Donny's more skillful than Bruno. Yeah, I think that's very, very key. I think Bruno is just literally he's very, very direct player. That's what I've got with Bruno. Bruno will never play the pivot. But who knows? This is the problem with
that's why I really insist on the importance of formation. In this 4-2-2, there's no tens, so it's not a pivot. These two are box-to-box midfielders. It's not a pivot. They were used to, under Ole, the 4-2-3-1, where it is a pivot, and I would have never played Bruno there.
Ever.
In this 4-2-2, like, you actually need to have midfielders that will create attack. In his midfield three, Klopp, and it's a very similar system again, Klopp played Oxlade-Chamberlain, who people would have never thought could play there. Why? Because he's someone that can get up and down the pitch, and that's something that Bruno can. And Donny van de Beek is someone who will actually deliver you goals and assists in the final third with efficiency. So he's the one that should be playing in the split tens. Definitely not Bruno.
Okay.
And this basically
Right.
considering the fact Pogba is not fit for this, but I would actually
Yeah,
put
absolutely. Yeah, Pogba's not fit,
Pogba
so
would be
that's why
playing
we
10
haven't.
to me, right?
Yeah. Right. What do you think about the number 10s? What are we thinking about the 10 role?
For me, it would be Tony and Jaden.
Donny and Sancho.
Donny and Jaden. Donny and Jaden. That's for me. It's a very, very two creative number 10s in there that
Taking
will
care of the ball as well.
taking care of the ball. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, guys, in the comments? Who would you put in the number 10 roles? Obviously, there are case for who else. That's the problem. We don't have many midfielders, man. That's the problem, guys, isn't it? Obviously,
Yes,
Pogba's
exactly,
out.
yeah.
We know Pogba's out. We don't have many midfielders, man. That because Matic can't play. Matta's legs are gone. Lingard, possibly a chance for him, maybe. Lingard in there.
Lingard out, man. I have a hard time with Jesse. I really do.
Yeah, he's very, very pick and choose when he wants to play, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, pick and choose when he wants to kind of
He's too good.
Sancho, Lingard.
I see someone here saying that Bruno is efficient because his stats are high. Well, that's not the definition of efficiency, mate. That
Yeah,
definitely
no, exactly. That's
I
not the
get-
definition. It's all wrong.
exactly. I get your point, but it's not efficiency. If you actually check out what efficiency is, it has nothing to do with piling up stats. Absolutely not.
Need to have a higher ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are we putting in number 10 role then?
Well, I think we should be strategic. Jaden Sancho has more pace, and he will more likely try and go at times out wide. So I would put him in the right side of that, and I think he's a better crosser of the ball than Donny. So he will actually be more on the right, which will allow space for Bruno to make runs in midfield.
Okay.
And as Fred is the more defensive of the two, he will not make as many forward runs. He will make some runs. So you want someone that's going to be very, very much inside of that midfield, and that's where I would play Donny van de Beek.
Okay, fair enough. So this is so far. This is for me very different, and I think for me sometimes when you have different situations, I think it brings kind of a different outlook. We're not used to this, people, and that's why for me there will always be debates on who plays who and what, because we've been staggered with a 4-2-3-1 that has never really changed, has it? Never.
It was horribly played as well. It was not played in the spirit of 4-2-3-1. It was just all wrong.
Absolutely. So you're always going to get a kind of a different element, a different style. Who would put it up front?
That's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, I would put Anthony Martial without thinking twice, to be honest.
Yeah, I would, to be honest, as well, because I want to see it, because I've seen Rashford and Ronaldo, and for me, it hasn't worked. They're two different styles. They both want to do their own thing. They both don't want to kind of hold the ball and kind of, bring people into play.
Exactly.
And for me, I don't know about you guys, but I would pick Martial and Ronaldo. I want to see this.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
100%.
If we're not gonna get, if what Martial is gonna leave, let's see him at least, once before he goes.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Another thing, Ronaldo was so good with Benzema, and Martial is
true.
the thing to
A
Benzema.
lot of people don't realize that.
Great point.
Yeah,
Fantastic point.
We have a player that can actually score goals, even though people people decided that Anthony Martial can't score, because I don't know why, but he can actually. He's very, very clinical when it's about scoring goals. Just last season, he was not as clinical as he used to be. But he can score goals, he can pass, he can hold it, and if you give him space, he can actually dribble. He's one of our best dribblers, actually, when the situation requires to dribble. So I think we have a very complete player that needs to play. And with playing time, with opportunities, you build the confidence a player like Martial needs. Every time, and we noticed this a long time ago, my dad noticed it. Martial with Jose and with Ole, every time, for example, he's on the pitch and we do the three subs we have, and when there's no risk of him being subbed, you see a different player. He's not afraid of being subbed up, so then he goes at it, and it happened many times with Martial. So play him.
Sally Hill is saying, why are you guys comparing Martial and Benzema? Maybe he didn't realize we're comparing the style of play. You don't, as much as you kind of, it's just about style and how things would benefit another player. And I think Martial, he's a very, very kind of unselfish player. He will kind of provide for others, and I think Reddit of folks says Martial had his chance, move on to transfer window. That's perfect. Your opinion is your opinion. If a person doesn't want to stay, by the way, then for me, we have to sell him, and that's the only situation we've got because we want players that want to play for the club, and if he wants to go, then that's up to him.
I think in this system with him and Ronaldo, they would complement each other. We know we know Martial is not the type of guy that you want to have in the box fighting for crosses and having this target man role. But Ronaldo, that's actually his bread and butter. So Martial will be tucking in midfield, and if you have him, Van de Beek, and Sancho in that little pocket, the ball will stick to their feet, and you'll be able to create a lot of chances. And with Telles and Dalot providing the width, we could wreak havoc at St. Jesus Park on Monday.
I know Zed says, I know this isn't FIFA, but do you think there's a lack of pace in that Excel to stretch the opposition defenses?
Well, that's why you have fullbacks.
Yeah, true, exactly. Dalot and Telles will provide the width that is needed for this, this team. You know what I mean? Where do you see us pressing, guys? Adam, first, you guys, in terms of our shape here. I don't know if you can. Are you able to click on this, or are you able to?
No, I can't move it.
Okay.
No, but
yeah. So basically, how
on.
would you see us kind of pressing, or how would you see the front six working?
Well, we know Ragnik wants to play very vertically, and he wants players to be high up the pitch when we win the ball. So, what I don't know is they actually studied Newcastle very well. So the pressing will actually depend on how Newcastle actually move the ball. So they will be paying attention to some particular triggers. So when they move the ball to a certain area, maybe this is how they will press. If the player, they get the ball, for example, if Newcastle pass it to the left back and the left back is poor on the ball, maybe that guy is not the guy to press you, or maybe he's the guy to press. It depends on how they decide to actually trigger the press and how they exploit the weak links of the other team. So I didn't know Ragnik very well. So just if you want to pick up on this.
Well, it all depends on how Newcastle will set up. And I'll tell you something. If they set up in exactly the same formation that played against City, they played a 4-4-1-1 with Joe Ellington in the 10. But I mean, it's not really a 10, but it was sort of a second striker. If they play the same way, I think they had Richie at left back, they had Murphy at right back, and their centre backs were Clark and Lascelles. And in midfield, they had Shelby with Willock, and on the wings it was Ryan Fraser and Almiron. If they play the same setup, whoever plays up front, I think they're going to be very, very easy to press. The only thing is, their new manager Eddie Howe is not too bad tactically, and I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to go with a back three for the game. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's like I said to you, it's the width, isn't it? You know what I mean? And when you have that width, then Fred can be able to kind of, marshal these kind of areas along with Bruno Fernandes. And then maybe we can get these guys maybe approaching the 10. And obviously, hopefully, Martial can drop in here as well. And obviously, he can hold the line up there. And then Ronaldo obviously can toggle in that area. So then when Jadon Sancho does provide the kind of creativity, Ronaldo can instead of running around, can just be in this kind of area, ready to poach. Because that's his game right now. He's a poacher. He's a world-class finisher, not a world-class player anymore. For me, I don't know what you guys, but he's not a world-class player for me in terms of his overall game, but he's a world-class finisher. Yeah, and I think he just gives you that kind of feeling. What's Donny van der Beek's role for you, Adam?
Well, the thing is, as we said, the ball will stick. And the thing is, we are trying to attack very, very quickly after winning the ball back. So as you said, for example, you just put Fred and Bruno Fernandes a bit deeper. But the thing is, unlike with Ole, everybody will be pushing in the same way. So players will be quite close. And they will link up and quickly release the ball forward. So that's why Sancho, Van de Beek are important. The ball, they will be able to retain the ball and quickly move it. Marcel will make runs, and they can actually push it out wide to Telles and Dalot make a cross. So it's not, you cannot actually separate attack from defense. Everybody attacks together, everybody defends together. For example, the Liverpool team, they don't have a defensive midfielder. People say Fabinho is a defensive midfielder. Yeah, but they are actually all very high. And they don't have two creators in midfield. For example, the Wijnaldum before he left and the Milner. Well, it's not attacking midfielders and defensive midfielders. They attack as a midfield and they defend as a midfield. And it's the same school. It's the same era. It's the same thinking with Ragnik and Klopp for the most of it. So Fred and Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek might press a player together, for example, the three of them, win it very quickly. Fred will push it out wide to Teles or just quickly to Sancho, and up we have space. And then Sancho picks the ball, either to Dalot or maybe just straight in one of the two forwards. So, it's we don't have enough data as well. It's very difficult for the moment. We don't have enough data on Ragnik with Manchester United.
Yeah, absolutely. Donny's good at retaining the ball, and you have his on-off the ball movement. Absolutely.
Great comment.
And in terms of Martial, do you expect his hold-up play to be very, very important in this system as well, isn't it?
It's crucial because we know it, and now the fans are starting to understand it, that it's going to be key in Ragnik's system that we play direct vertical passes. And when you play direct vertical passes and you play them quickly, they're even harder to control and they're even harder to bring down. And then you need your best players. You need the players that have the best first touch in your team starting. And that's why the reason why I don't think Bruno Fernandes is the solution in the split tens. If he receives a quick pass from a Fred or from a McTominay playing in midfield, I don't think he's the guy that gets it down, turns off, and plays a pass. I think that's Donny van de Beek, that's Anthony Martial. And we saw in our performance against Norwich, we did press decently in some stages of the game. And every time we played the ball into our front three, they were miscontrolling it, both Ronaldo and Rashford. And that's why you bring Martial, if he's able to control it, not necessarily to just turn and shoot and score a goal. But if he can just control it and play it onto a fullback and we could get a decent cross into Ronaldo, well, that already improves our attacking game. Wouldn't you agree, Zaid?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because the main thing is for the ball to stick up front because, if we have a team that's better possession than us.
Absolutely.
That's why it could be a dangerous game. And that will happen in the Champions League latter stages where you will face the likes of Benzema, not Benzema, or Modric and Kroos, these kind of players who, might go. Obviously, it depends on if they beat PSG, but people, Uruguayan. Obviously, he's backing his boy. He's saying, "Where is Cavani?" Cavani, does he have a role in this team? Do you think, guys? Or
honestly rate him. We just picked Ronaldo and Martial because I think they fit, and Ronaldo will play. But Martial and Cavani, I got time for that as well.
I love it.
I don't know why is there a split. Why is there a split fan base with this Cavani? I for me personally like Cavani. I think for me he offers something different. I think the fan base are very, very split on Cavani. I don't know why.
Well, I think it has to do with the fact that we were managed by Ole, and we were able, because we didn't actually rate him as a manager, and we knew his many flaws as a manager. We knew about those. So even if he wasn't playing necessarily well for us, we knew that we were able to separate his performances for our team. We were able to make a difference between that and his actual ability. It's like Anthony Martial. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that under Ole Martial was great for the whole time. I understand that there were some times where it was underwhelming, but I'm able to tell you that I know how good he is individually outside of the system. And I think that's why there's a split. A lot of people take everything that we had under Ole for the last 3 years as cash.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. But that is our team for the game against Newcastle. We're going to get our predictions now and let us know in the comments. Rahit says Cavani carried us through last season. He scored some vital goals, like the winning goal against Head. Yeah, he did, man. He scored some vital goals, man. Vital goals. Will we have got a better Cavani under a different manager? We'll see. But I don't know if Cavani has the patience now that we have a lot of forwards up front in Cavani and Martial. Yeah, will he be patient enough? Raymond Price says, "Love you guys. Man United to win 3-1. I've gone for 2-0. I think it'll be a very, very difficult game in terms of a lot of people will expect us to just dominate the game. I think it will be another game like Norwich where it will be frustrating, and it depends on the personnel as well. If we have Martial and people that can control a game, that's why I would go with a lot of technical players in this game. So hopefully Donny van de Beek can play. I wouldn't even mind Matic playing in this game because someone who's technically on the ball is sound. So we'll see. We'll see a controlled 4-1 win. First time tuning into the channel. Big up to you, bro. Hope you are well. And hopefully you subscribed as well to the channel. And big up to you, Dwayne. 2-1, 2-0 United. Let's go. Adam, I'm going to start with you. What do you think the result will be on Monday night?
I want a clean sheet, so I'll go 2-0. I want a clean sheet, but I think it won't be too easy. I go, but that's just me hopeful of a clean sheet. I think that's important. We need to build that, and we need 2 goals at least, like to show that maybe the attack is starting to click in a bit after the last week.
Absolutely, we do need,
Yeah, so,
because a lot of people are saying that we're fluking our wins. You know what I mean? We don't want that, man.
So
2-0, 4-0.
I would love tapping like Darlow in the box, Ronaldo's easy goal. I would love that to see some sort of patterns emerging from the team. So yeah, 2-0. Let's go for this.
Absolutely. Brian Clint said, appreciate you guys. Bono is fresh to sit back and listen to good talk. Big up Adam Said. New guy's Adil. His name is there, Adil, yeah. But yeah, man, big up to you for enjoying the content. Hopefully everyone can smash the like on the video if you are enjoying it. Adil, what's your score predictions?
I'm gonna go with 1-0 for the simple reason that I believe Newcastle they're in rhythm. You know, they've had those games, they've been playing. I believe we'll dominate them, and I think we'll be very much better than them in the first half. But I think during the second half, our lack of fitness, the fact that we're a bit rusty will come in, and I expect, especially our front men, not to be as clinical as they usually are. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ronaldo missing chances he'd normally score, because we're not really in the game rhythm, and we're not match fit as opposed to Newcastle, who have been playing games, full throttle over the last period. So I think yes, I'm gonna go with 1-0.
Yeah. Rohit, I don't know if this makes sense, because if you win the Champions League, you get top 4.
I would definitely sacrifice that top 4.
Rohit,
Champions League.
Yeah, because we go in there if we win it, Rohit. But big up to Rohit for that one. Dwayne, Ellis says, I don't honestly think we do play a pressing team that Ralph has implemented. We can win 3-0. Well, yeah, I think if we do that, absolutely, we will do that. Ralph Ragnik Revolution. Top show again. Calvin, absolutely has been a top show. He has flown by. Obviously, we were meant to have Musa with us, but unfortunately couldn't be available. Maybe he's busy, especially Statman as well. He's with his family as well. So he's busy as well. But big up to Statman as always. And thanks, Adam, for coming on. Where can they find you, bro? Anything bits and bobs you do?
Yeah,
is a YouTube channel coming next year? Who knows? 2022.
Maybe it's something. We're trying to work something out, but it needs to be. It's not yet. It's not. We'll have the conversation with my brother maybe. So we'll keep you.
Yeah, man. I think it would be a good show, man. I think the tactical brother, man. You know, I've never. For me, you guys have been a fresh air, man. The last year I've known you guys, man. My whole kind of like knowledge of football has just increased because of you guys. You guys are very, very well educated on the game, man. So big up to you, Adil, as well. Where can they find you, brother?
You can find me on Twitter at The Red Knight. I got my Twitter tag right there. Of course, I'm always down to talk about football on social media. And maybe yes, you'll see Adam and I are very active. So maybe yes, there might be something coming in the future. We'll talk about it. But I mean, we definitely enjoy to come on as guests on your show, Saeed.
Big time.
Absolutely. Hopefully every preview day we'll bring the two brothers on, and hopefully as well Charlie, he's going to be back on as well soon. And big up to everybody who comes on the channel, man. Always love you guys that are celebrating Christmas. Hope you have enjoyed the rest of the holidays, and obviously we'll be back before the new year or whatnot. Just keep an eye on the channel for any updates that happen. Hopefully I'll keep you updated as whatnot. But for now, people, enjoy the rest of your Christmas. Hope you have a good night, and we'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.